Good evening. I'm calling to order Southborough Zoning Board of Appeals for Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. We have at least four members now, so we can start. We believe we'll have a fifth. The first item that we have on our agenda this evening is a hearing on 6 Walker Street. This is a variance modification and variance. Before we begin, I do want to just try to cover a very recent change that happened in the state for Maura Healey signed House Bill 5555. It's really about trying to help with housing, and I'll try to summarize it as much as I can. But basically, where for existing non-conforming, the law is trying to make it easier, make it by right to make changes to existing non-conforming, provided that such extension or alteration complies with the current dimensional regulations regarding height, number of stories, and setback. So those are the only critical dimensional requirements that would prevent somebody from doing it by right, and instead having to, look for I believe it would be a special permit to the special permit. So that one, this does not necessarily impact us this evening. However, there is a new variance standard where previously our guiding principles were issuance of a variance was deemed appropriate if, due to circumstances related to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of land or structures, especially affecting the same, a literal enforcement of the ordinance or bylaw would cause financial hardship, or otherwise, so long as relief could be granted without substantial detriment to the public good, and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the purpose or intent of the ordinance or bylaw. So they've tried to make it simpler. A variance shall be issued upon a specific finding that, in quotes, a strict enforcement of the ordinance or bylaw would result in a practical difficulty. And goes on to say practical difficulty is not defined. So that's not particularly helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Clear as mud.
So we're blazing a trail. Our town council's advice is that we be as detailed as possible in our findings, particularly to this first item on the agenda, which is a variance. I thought it was just the one that he suggested.
Yes, this one and the other variance, which is our third public hearing.
Okay. Yeah. So just due to the vagueness and the fact that people don't really understand what this is, his suggestion is that for this hearing and one other hearing, that we hear it fully. We hear the proponents, we hear whoever is not in favor of it, and try to gather as much information as possible. But his request is, and this has to be agreed to by the proponent, that we continue it because he basically wants to have more time to explore the legal avenue or ramifications, if you will. So I'm just stating that sort of for the record.
So he wants us to continue it?
He wants us to continue it.
That one he wasn't
that
specific about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Just that I think it was more because the argument has changed for a variance, that we make sure that we go by the new language.
That's what I understood.
The very specific findings for that. But I think his recommendation was if the applicants would like more time
That's
to
what I understood.
adjust their proposal.
If they want
their argument.
they can adjust their argument if they want to.
Okay. All right.
Not saying you have to.
All right. Okay. Yeah, and I think what we need to do is make our own attempt at practical difficulty.
I think that's the goal.
As possible.
So I think what they're trying to do is, a variance has been such a hardship
Yes.
I think a lot of towns have used it as a cudgel. I don't think we have particularly as a board. I think we've been pretty fair in our application of those. But I think a lot of towns just see the word variance and just use that as an opportunity to say no.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like it's just more about trying to provide a broader definition for applicants. That's my understanding.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at it to a certain extent that practical difficulty is not really that far from what we
What we
already
have
used as guidance because they.
Can you read it with respect to the financial hardship? Because I know financial hardship was not a basis for variance previously from a legal perspective.
Would you like the actual language from
If
the
you
law
don't-
without?
Yeah, can you just pass that down? I just want to.
So your finding needs to be specific that a strict enforcement of the bylaw would result in practical difficulty. In making its determination, the permit granting authority shall weigh the benefits to the appellant or petitioner and to the public interest, including the interest in supporting the production of housing against the detriment to the public
Yeah,
health,
got it.
safety, and welfare of the neighborhood. And then may also consider, so they do
May.
list other things that the board can consider. One of those is what you're used to, which is, soil conditions, shape,
topography.
topography of the land. One is they did change the wording in the law to a financial hardship.
That to me is the biggest change.
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of towns zoning would be like, it's not our problem. It's going to cost you a gajillion dollars.
Right.
Like that's not a hardship.
So,
It is.
yeah.
Imagine money having meaning and value.
Realistic there. Okay.
So. Okay.
All right.
I'll have to
So
say, don't be scared.
having that preamble,
Who were we saying no to first? Oh, I'm sorry.
you're supposed to mute your
Oh, yeah,
microphone.
sorry.
For 6 Walker Street, do we have anybody here as a proponent? If you don't mind coming up.
Do you want me to read the public hearing notice?
Yes, please.
The Board of Appeals of the Town of Southborough will hold a public hearing at the McAuliffe Hearing Room, 17 Common Street, Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 at 7:00 p.m. With regard to the petition of Daniel Ford for the property located at 6 Walker Street, Southborough, Mass, map 55, lot 38A. The petitioner is seeking a modification to a variance and a variance to allow the construction of an addition that will encroach on the side setback. The property is located in the Residence B district, and relief is requested under section 174-D3C and section 174-25.
Thank you. If you don't mind, just your name and address.
Yes, Daniel Ford, 6 Walker Street South.
Thank you very much. Do you have anything you want to, I mean, you provided us a pretty
Very, very
thorough,
detailed.
very detailed, but maybe, is there anything you want to add into the narrative from your perspective?
I mean, I think we can just kind of share in plain language, what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
We're seeking to build a garage, an attached garage to our home. And that, after talking with contractors, our architects, with the building department, really that because of the size of our property and where the home is situated today, building on the left side of our home is really the only place we'd be able to do that reasonably without kind of consuming what little yard we have left. And we've spoken to all of our neighbors about it. Neighbors on both sides have written us letters in support of our project. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
And again, the restriction to make it on the left side is on the right side. You don't have sufficient room, or
Yeah,
is that where your
there's just
septic
not
is?
sufficient room.
Okay.
And then our neighbors on that side are also even closer. Like they're only 10 feet from their property line on their side.
Okay.
And we have another bit. And then our septic and our leach field is on that side of the property as well.
Yeah. It's a little back, obviously, but yeah, I that's what I recall. Okay. As was noted, that is a pretty thorough package that you put together,
And thank you for doing that.
which the board definitely appreciates. We've certainly seen some that look like they were in fact sketched on the back of a napkin. But so this is pretty nice. But why don't we go ahead and ask the board members if they have any questions? Paul, I'm going to start with you. Do you have any questions?
I do not have any questions.
Okay. Mike?
For
okay.
whatever it's worth, I'm pretty familiar with Walk. I'm in pretty close proximity, but I'm not an abutter, so
Right.
I don't think there's a problem. I wasn't notified as an abutter or anything like that, but just to
Okay. Yeah,
just to
that
clear
is
that.
it is in your general neighborhood, but that's
Yeah.
you aren't an abutter. I think by just stating that, I think you're in the clear.
Yep, just wanted to.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay.
I have no questions.
Doris?
I don't have any questions. I'm in the neighborhood, a little bit up the street. I walk by the property. It looks like it's gonna go where the driveway
Yes.
is, and it seems practical, and there's always been something, that driveway has been there, so. No, I
Yeah.
don't have any questions.
Yeah.
I understand, I do appreciate being able to follow your application.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so.
So simple.
So,
Yeah, yes.
David, we have to vote on two aspects of it in relation to 1955 as well as this offset. So we have to break it up.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's just kind of, what's our process, Laura?
So there's two pieces, you're right. There was a variance granted in 1965 for this
Correct.
property to
65.
allow the construction of the single family home in general because the lot size was non-conforming.
Correct.
One of the conditions of that variance was that no building shall be placed within 30 feet of
Got it.
either
You're
side
right.
property
I
line.
forgot about that.
So
Yep.
we would need to modify that
Modify that. Okay.
or vote to remove that
Thank you,
entirely.
Doris. Yep.
Yes.
And then vote on the
Okay.
new variance request, which is,
Right,
I
was that
believe, a
55 or 1965?
65.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so, okay. In the spirit of,
Wait,
makes sense.
65, they gave a variance?
Because the lot was
It's a crazy time.
pre-existing non-conforming, and I
Yeah,
think the
But that
bylaw
predates
was,
modern zoning.
no.
65?
55 was our zoning bylaw went into effect.
Okay.
That's right, that's where I did the 55, 65.
That's, I was,
Just
yeah,
to
thank
get
you.
it clear,
Sorry,
so
I'm
we have to address that.
So to be sort of detailed here, the setback, the side setback is 6.5 feet under what is proposed. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm just thinking, do of the two options of saying, no, we're just gonna ignore it or say we're overruling it. Are we, should we instead give a specific dimension, say, I don't know what your thought is on that.
Well, so the relief that's being asked is for to have it be 6.5.
Correct.
And so we could, to the extent the board agrees to it, allow the variance as requested.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what about the 1965 variance? Because that's the part we have to decide what to do with that. As well.
If I may,
Please.
I believe the homeowner is looking to place a shed. So there's a shed there that's
Yeah.
already existing. The current homeowners did not put that there, but they are going to relocate that. That's going to be 10.5 feet, which will meet the setbacks for the shed, but perhaps
Okay.
removing or modifying that condition from 1965 that says no building can go, or at least making it broad enough where it could cover the accessory building as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. So I just want to make sure, what's the dimensions of the shed? Is that considered a building by the building department?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure, just because there's.
That's dimensionally a shed, right?
12 by 18.
12, okay, it's too big. I think 10 by 12 is our.
So under our zoning bylaw, anything over 6 feet in any dimension is considered a structure and is therefore subject to setbacks.
6 feet.
So can we bring this in line with our current setbacks and then a variance on the garage? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what is
basically
that
what I mean.
language?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, so I think I almost got, so
Yeah.
that language would be, Mike, that language would work for me. To take the
Yeah.
1965,
And remove the requirement that no building be within 30
Correct.
feet.
right.
But then even after we do that, we have to give relief for them not meeting the current
So if we
dimensional
remove
setback.
it, then de facto goes to zoning code, the
Yeah.
normal setbacks. We don't have to add language. I don't
Correct.
think. We just have to,
remove
we
it.
just have to
That's
strike
exactly right.
that requirement.
So does that make it a single action or two actions?
I think you could do it in
We
one.
probably do it with one.
I think we
right?
can do it
And then
with one,
we can
because I think we're
clarify it
speaking to
in-
that clarification and then rendering a decision with respect to the applicant's proposal.
So before we go any further, I don't know if anybody here or online wants to speak on the application as well, either in favor or against. But we have to give you an opportunity. Is there anybody?
I have no hands raised online.
And I see we got 2 letters in support of this. Anything in opposition?
Nothing enough.
Okay.
Seems pretty clear then.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll second it.
All right, motion has been made to close the public hearing. The second, all in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Paul?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Okay, that closed the public hearing. Now, I think we don't really need, I think we've discussed it as much as we need to. It's just, do you thread the needle with the motion?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Just to make sure that we're covered with the new,
that's where I was going to start with.
Oh,
okay. If you would like to put in any findings related to the soil conditions, shape or topography of structures, the financial hardship, whether the benefit sought by the petitioner can be achieved by some other feasible method, or whether the practical difficulty was self-created. You are allowed to consider all those things. More detail you can put in the
Well, I
benefit.
thought the only thing that came up that keeps it to where it needs to be was we have the restriction. We can't be putting that in front of the fields in the septic. It's too close to the septic.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not another place in.
it's again, I think what we can do is add additional language in our findings. But to me, when I read the application, given the size of the lot, the shape of the lot, the topography, the applicant is really limited in what's available as far as being able to do something like this. As such, I feel like that those conditions for a variance are therefore met. We didn't get into the financial aspect of the petitioner's request. However, I assume that this is basically the cheapest option that he has from an addition perspective, as opposed to moving the septic or creating putting a garage on the opposite side of the house. And so I feel like finances is in his circumstance is pretty evident as far as it would be a hardship for him to move so. So I think we could add that to the finding.
and as far as does it have any, because they do have language in it that says you can consider what the impact is to the public good, if you will. And
Yeah,
I think we can address that as well.
I think we're almost I think the way I heard the new language is it's kind of falling back on almost the special permit language if it's not more detrimental to the neighborhood. If you can hear that resonance in it. Yeah.
I think it's crazy.
For everyone else who's here, that's very boring. For everyone else, for me, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Just let that.
I really do feel like, again, the abutters are in support of this as evidenced by their letters of support. So I certainly don't think there's a detriment to the neighborhood whatsoever on this. So those would be kind of like my findings, Laura.
Perfect.
As to the decision, I think we need to make a motion to amend the previous zoning restriction with respect to the no structures be allowed to have that
Within 30 feet.
within 30 feet have that be removed, and to follow our now current zoning bylaw with respect to setbacks. And then I make a motion to approve the application for relief as requested.
Was that the motion, Mike?
That was the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. All that, right?
Yes.
That was a good
Sorry.
job, Mike. No, that's fine.
No, that was good.
Okay.
It was the last 2 sentences.
We have a motion to approve, which will amend the previous variance, 1965, and then also grant relief for the side setback
Yes.
dimensions in the current zoning code. With a second, all in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Paul?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
Williams, aye. that approves your application. Congratulations. Laura can tell you about what your schedule is now.
So we have 2 weeks, 14 days to write and file the decision with the town clerk. We try to have them done earlier than that. I will notify you as soon as that's done. Once it's filed with the town clerk, there's a 20-day appeal period. Once that is over, you can take the decision, get a certified copy from the town clerk, and record that at the Worcester Registry of Deeds. And then you'll be good to go, building permits, all that stuff. But what I'll do is tomorrow I'll send you an email, follow-up email with the whole timeline so you have it.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Yep. Congratulations. All right, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 0 Northborough Road off Bartolini Properties. You want to read the
Yes.
public hearing?
The Board of Appeals of the Town of Southborough will hold a public hearing at the McAuliffe Hearing Room, 17 Common Street, Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 at 7:15 p.m. with regard to the petition of Bartolini Properties LLC, for the property located at 0 Northborough Road off Southborough, Mass, map 62, lot 3. The petitioner is seeking a special permit to allow 15 feet of frontage on a pre-existing non-conforming lot. The property is located in the Residence A district and relief is requested under section 174-9E.
Thank you.
Do you have materials that you want to share?
Sure. Do you want me to run through the whole thing or?
Yeah, if you want to put it up here, I gotta move you over.
First, could you just name and address or what your role is in representing the applicant?
It's Mike Bartolini, 9 McNeil Drive. Me and my brothers are the owners of the company.
Okay, and you're,
Anthony Bartolini at 8A Maple Street.
okay, thank you.
Are you on as Greg? Are you logged in as?
Greg, I'm logged in as Greg.
So you're logged in as Greg, okay.
I don't like.
I know you're not Greg.
I don't know. I don't have a laptop. I just use my desktop.
Okay, so I'm going to promote you to panelist. Just click OK.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you the ability to share in case you want to. Hold on.
Yeah.
You should be able to share. Allow.
To hold that.
Yes.
Is that good? Said I had to send a request.
Yep, I approve that, so you should be good.
Just like these.
Man, that's a broad definition.
I think they want you to use your judgment, Mike. That's why they did that.
Oh, that's clear.
Clear,
They're,
it's
they're,
like that's-
they're trying to
Try
open
to-
the door.
Mhm. So that's what it is. And so,
You get a security setting on this.
um,
Sorry.
That's okay.
Experiencing technical difficulty.
We've all been there.
Some towns are gonna go nuts about this.
about what? I'm not gonna go nuts.
Oh,
Okay, no.
but I think we actually try to provide relief when it's applicable. That's the problem.
I think people come to, don't they come to ZBA to get relief? They're
That's
not-
literally our job.
The job is to.
That's literally our job.
It's a judgment job.
That's all it is. But trust me, towns don't.
So,
don't
I
have
mean, they're
that.
spelling it out for those who
They don't.
may not be providing,
The
sticking to the letters.
the financial thing is a big thing because you don't know
Well,
how many times.
No,
I've
we
run
don't.
that.
I do know. It's actually, I'm in my 6th year now, I think. How time flies. No, it's not a consideration, but now something to consider.
It's huge.
I'm good.
Okay.
Sure, Mike. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. We're discussing what
Yeah.
what our governor's office is thinking.
More boring stuff.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to really lead us a bit through here.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one.
I've been deep into this.
So under 174-9-E, we're seeking a special permit for 2 residential lots with a common driveway. So this parcel was connected to a much larger parcel at an earlier time. It's since been had several takings for the aqueducts. The one that we're most interested in is the Wachusett Aqueduct. In 1896, it's not one of them.
I was gonna say, 1896 deed.
Yeah.
We've got that.
We need to
There it
write
is.
our decision in quill, Mike.
It's it. It's,
You can do that one.
So this was the taking for the Wachusett Aqueduct. So it was done in 1896. This parcel was, again, like I said, connected. It was on several roads. And then it was disjointed and isolated from the rest of the property. So to give to the benefit of that parcel, the state of Massachusetts and the MWRA gave them a 15-foot right-of-way that was intended to be a road. So right here it says that to the heirs and successors of this property, a 15-foot strip was given specifically as a road, and it was for the use and benefit of that property. 10 feet was the standard for a road at that time. It was specifically there so they could use all 8 acres of it. So if you actually go on the property now, this road was built. So that's actually the opening there in the stone wall historically. It does actually add up to exactly 10 feet from here to there for the opening.
the road was built.
Say that again?
The road was never built.
There was a gravel road. They actually did use it for a while. They used it, honestly, it wasn't that long ago. And I'll show you that. So, sorry. So the state actually has a gate with an opening. That's at the closer end of the parcel. So if you see that opening there, you know it's a gate because it has all the gate stuff to it. And they actually did put up this gate at the end of it here. And the property owners for a very long time, when the farm was active, would get a key every year to that gate for the said purpose of using that road and access. So it is in existence. It is there. It's in incredibly good shape right now. No, but it does exist.
But that, what you were just showing, is it a different part of the parcel than what, obviously it has to be from what you first showed me where the road is.
So that road. So when I walked out there, it's the same opening. So that's the gate here,
Yeah.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
And that's where that was the GPS location I had
okay,
when I was at the opening in the stone wall.
Okay.
And that fence is somewhere around this area with the opening for the state. They had the gate there. So that's what we're looking for. So right now we have
Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what I want.
that is what
Can you enlarge that, Mike?
I can try.
which way is, oh, I see
See
north
that?
now,
Yep.
okay, yeah.
And how long is the road? About,
That road is 890 feet. I don't know how
I think maybe X out of that. No,
900
so-
feet.
I don't think so. That's just the block. Yeah,
Yeah, right
so
there.
X out, I think
Yeah.
if you X. I think.
no.
Nope.
Almost ready to complete tech support.
I think Sorry, I should have done this wrong.
It's right, it's in this right?
Can you just get out of this?
Yes.
Got that one. There you go.
And then there's
There you
a,
go.
okay, hold on, I'll do it.
There you go.
There we go. Thank you.
Going farther?
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, that helps orient where it is in my mind.
Yes.
Because I know Chestnut Hill Road, I know where it takes that turn and just before you get to the turn over the railroad tracks. So again, the gate on this map is located where?
The opening for in the stone wall is right here.
Okay,
It's right on the property line. So the stone wall goes down this way.
okay.
Right here.
In that other gate, oh, is that where you showed it at all the way out to
Yes.
Northborough Road? Got it.
There's the Northborough Road gate.
That's
Yeah, that's the
more
one, that's the
modern
state gate that
Yep.
they allowed access.
And
Yeah.
that's the gate they gave
Okay.
key to the farmer every year.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And then right about here, there's a fence that the state, I believe the state put up, but they also put an opening in that as well.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
oh, did you have more? Yeah,
So yeah, so I mean, we're looking through the special permit process to get the 2 lots here.
yeah, and the
So lot
challenge,
one and lot two.
and the challenge here is the lack of frontage, correct?
Correct.
Because you have this long, just narrow 15-foot path from Northborough Road to the property. So, now what were we talking about? That there's an issue with the utilities that needs to be addressed, or bringing utilities in there.
No, so I have that also addressed. So DCR had an issue with bringing utility across or paving it. I did have my attorney go through this, but there is, well, one, in their letter, they acknowledge that we have access and right to that right of way. And then 2, case law has been, I guess, pretty much established that we have the right to improve the right of way to a
Okay.
reasonable extent, which would include utilities and, if necessary, pavement.
Okay. So I didn't report that correctly earlier. This is the part that I think where Jay Tallerman is saying it would be preferable from his perspective if you would agree to continue the hearing because of this legal issue that he feels like he needs to explore further.
This issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the issue?
what's
So
your
I guess I'm confused as
Well-
to why, because it's been there for 2 months, so I didn't. But yeah,
You had the conversation with Jay about it, right?
Yeah.
So we spoke with town council today. There's been some back and forth, and today was the most definitive conversation with him, was this afternoon. And I think his big concern is that if it would be creating 2 lots, but one would not have frontage and therefore creating a new nonconformity. Because if this relief was granted, you guys would still, if it's granted through a special permit, you would still need to do an A&R with the planning board. If it were to be granted like through a variance, it would be a full subdivision plan. But in order to do an A&R, they need to prove that they have sufficient frontage, which can be granted through a special permit, but without creating a new nonconformity. So Jay is a little hesitant in, I guess he wants to make sure that we would not be creating a new nonconformity, if that makes sense.
When's our next hearing scheduled?
August 12th.
Like, can you pull up the plot plan again one more time for me? Because I just want to visualize what Jay's talking about. 'Cause I don't understand it. So I want to see what the nonconformity would be. Again, just enlarge that for me. So this is where you're looking to get access.
correct.
So you're going to be building a road along this corridor to access those 2 lots, correct?
Correct.
improving the existing road.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're building, like what I mean as far as capacity for emergency vehicles and everything else. So then you've got a driveway in theory here and then a driveway in theory here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So let me just try to wrap.
We have had short frontage. I'm just trying, because we have had other applications, with, that share the road. Residential in the back, absolutely have them.
Yeah.
And they're sharing a road of only 20 feet or 30 feet.
Yeah.
To get buildings in the back.
I think the question is, how much frontage would each lot have if this were to be approved?
Okay.
So
The
they'd have to
frontage is here that they need to take, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Which is 15 feet.
I see the argument now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then.
Do you guys see it? The concern? I'm not saying I share it, but I see the argument and I just want to make sure it makes sense to what Jay is talking about.
I mean, wouldn't they just
So-
be sharing the frontage?
Yes. So if this was just like one lot, we'd be like, hey, listen, if we decide to grant you the special permit, then we're giving two lots, one piece of frontage.
We're just giving one lot, not eight acres. There's no two lots.
Right.
We're gonna be clear, there's no two lots right now.
Right, but that's the proposal. That's the issue that Jay is going down.
Right.
But we have that problem now.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
just,
fine.
I need to, because I'm with you, Doris. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, I don't see the problem. Like we share, they're branching off of this. I
Other
don't see
people
the,
split driveways.
totally.
Totally.
It's a shared driveway.
So,
But at least I understand, before I couldn't understand what he was even asking or like proposing, like, why would we continue this? I don't see the issue at all. I see the argument. I'm not sure.
but the petitioner gets to decide. if
Of
they
course.
continue.
yes.
So just, it's you who decides, not us.
Oh, and I can see it on this. Oh my God.
So would that be with, right? so-
God.
They did put them in.
I-
It's like,
that's why
I'm
I'm
like
facing-
putting up a puppet show.
That's why I'm facing
All right.
forward now, so my big hair doesn't show to the camera.
So I guess my
It's brand new.
special permit is 3 out of 5.
All special permit or variance would be 4 out of 5.
It's 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
And you only have 4.
We have 4. Which, I mean, if you want it to be heard by a 5-member board, we can continue and pick it up at the next one. That's always an option.
Yeah, I mean, that was the request of council, but like, we can't force you to do a continuation. You have to agree to it.
Do we have time if they want to take a
Oh,
recess?
yes.
Because I just don't
Yeah,
want them
can
to
I-
feel like they're painted into a corner.
I mean, can I poll the board? Is that like a thing?
Well, we haven't got to the part where we ask questions.
Right.
You can always
Right.
pull, isn't that procedurally?
Right.
Can he take a continuance after the board kind of goes through the public and where this is headed? You'll get a feel
As
for
long
it.
as you guys don't.
I
That's the
think-
right order and process. I want to do the right process. Right.
Well,
As long as you don't close the public hearing.
right, we can't close the
Right.
public hearing.
Might be able
And
to-
I think that was Jay's suggestion. It's like, get all the input, ask the questions. And then continue it. If you want, I mean, if you feel like you need a 5-minute recess, we can certainly grant you a 5-minute recess to. think
Yes.
about it.
Sure, we can take a recess.
Okay. We're at 5-minute recess. It's 7:40. We'll start again at 7:45. Thank you. All right, we are back live and in session. So, well, why don't we? Let me ask you what you discussed or what you guys decided.
Um, well, one, I'd like to hear any questions.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
I guess what we were kind of wondering, so it sounds like, I guess, is he trying to push us towards the variance process? Is that?
I don't think that's it.
I don't think that.
I think he just has some concerns. He's not saying he's opposed to this. I think he's really looking at it as a lawyer. Maybe he's worried about establishing a precedent or I thought you said like almost like a new bylaw.
No,
No?
I think part of the concern is, making sure that you guys don't run into trouble down the road, like trying to get the A&R for the 2 lots. Like making sure that we get this right so that it doesn't.
It feels like it's a little more on our side than it is yours.
Okay.
If it helps, he will be at the next meeting.
Then, yeah, I think we would be good going with the continuation.
Okay.
But any other questions you have, we would like to.
Okay. Well, let's do
Yeah,
that.
let's
do that this evening.
let's hash out see if Paul or
Right.
kind of go through any of the board members' concerns so we can flush those out so to save time for the next meeting.
Yeah. Paul, do you have questions?
Perhaps, sure. I'm trying to make sure I'm following what I'm seeing and following what the concern is. So what's enlarged here is, it says an existing right of way, and that's 15 feet. Is that what we're calling the frontage? And that's to Northborough Road?
Yeah. I think that's the frontage to Northborough Road for 2 lots.
So I guess my question for I guess just talking out loud. So the frontage is the 15 feet on Northborough Road, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the special permit process, so we were asking for a common driveway. It's a subdivision that we're now creating because I understood it to be a common driveway.
I don't
consider this to be would be a common driveway.
Yeah, I would think it's a common drive. I don't think this is a subdivision.
No, that would be a nightmare.
Okay, because you kept referring to it as a road. I mean, I know we could have
maybe
gone as a.
Yeah, you're really talking about that 15 feet wide structure being a driveway.
Yes, that's how we were referring to it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
No, I think it's important to clarify the language because I think this is a driveway. It's an existing 15 feet right of way that you're going to use to create a functional driveway for the eventual 2 lots.
Okay. And then I guess on the other, so it would be A&R process at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I apologize if I added confusion.
No, I just wanted to make sure I had it right in my head. So it's
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah, because that's apples and
As long as the relief is granted under a special permit, the lot
that's
will be
right.
divided.
As opposed to a variance.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, back to Paul.
So maybe, Mike, I'll address this to you. Is a right of way the same as frontage?
That's the question.
So I think I'm guessing that's what might be the concern here from
So
Jay, perhaps, maybe. I don't know.
I can't speak to that. I would.
Because you
If I-
cannot, like, I know you cannot, creating a shared driveway does not create like lot frontage. So it has to, like, that's why you see these, long pork chop.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
So that would have to go back to where Northborough Road is. And I'm just hypothesizing what Jay's perhaps concern is that, that a right of way doesn't like that this might be deemed actually landlocked, and a right of way just gives you access to something, but doesn't actually, like, the frontage is owned by, whomever possessed that back in the whatever 1800s.
So
Department of Conservation.
But the argument from the petitioners, if I understand it, is that this has been used as a road. And so, and I'm using the term road, but
Well, that's
it's
where we
not-
got to be careful because
That's where we have to be careful, road and drive, but this looks like this has been used as a form of access. Let's just use the term broadly. Historically, it's been used as access, as I understand what the petitioners are putting forward.
Right. And seeing the beginnings of like a driveway really is what you were showing where the rocks were, right? That's the beginning of the property. So we have the green gate is all the way out towards Northborough Road, but where you showed the rocks sort of delineating the
Yeah.
road is that's the beginning of the property, correct?
That's the lot, that's this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's how I understood it. So I look at that as an existing access point towards Northborough Road.
Right, and that's where the importance of the deed.
I think so.
comes in,
I think that
language
is.
in there to grant
There's not a
the
language in the
15.
deed.
No, there's certainly
No, no,
not a
so-
lot, but
But, I did it, doing a deep dive, road can have a different meaning in 1896 or with the intent of the use, but it's always been used as a way to get to the back of the property.
that's the key. That's
And-
what I see
and
it
It
as.
was always the intent to get to the back of the properties. And it is, and when did you acquire the property? So this right away went from every title through your current ownership. That right away has always been there. Nobody's tried to take that away. I mean, they got it right away. It's just what you're going to define it as. Well, we do have examples. I think we've got an example of a 20-foot frontage that's really just a driveway or just a shared driveway to get to. Because there's no frontage to Route 9 on some properties.
That's exactly
And
right.
I know we have the same.
That's exactly right.
I absolutely confident. And that become the cart and the horse. I like the idea of doing a continuance, but there was a cart and a horse to that was a subdivision, not a driveway share. And then the definition of a road. It's a driveway that acts like a road.
So, Paul, do you have more questions, or did that any of that
Well-
discussion help?
No, I was just bringing that up as I'm just
No, I'm
curious
glad you did.
if that's what the concern is. Then in the notes, saying that you would still need to do an A&R from the planning board to divide the lots. Like that language I don't understand, because if it's an A&R, it's an A&R. It's approval not required. So how would that need to flow? Like, how would that need to be vetted by the planning board if no approval is needed then? So I was a little confused by that statement.
Yeah, the planning board still needs to, they have a whole process for the A&R, so it's approval not required is a little bit of like a misnomer
Misnomer.
where they still need some sort of approval, but it's not a full subdivision.
That's it.
Okay.
So it's always been residential. Somebody, pre-zoning code. It's always been residential. Someone say yes or no. Or don't we know?
I think it's always been agricultural.
Yeah,
How did it
that's
get to
pretty
there?
old.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that this was a residential lot
That's
within the modern definition.
1896 again.
It's residential lot now.
That's prior to the.
It's in the
development.
residential district, but I wouldn't consider it historically used as. I didn't know if that was your question.
No.
Yeah, I mean, who knows when that overlay was created, but
Right.
I'm sure historically it probably wasn't delineated as such, but I'm sure
Right.
historically it was.
Are there some, I was by the property a number of times. Is there some residences that have
Well,
bought this?
no.
No.
I think if
Really?
you look up on the
Kinda go to the
top
side.
corner,
Here.
the
No,
top
I-
corner there,
No,
There's
no,
a
it's
home.
further to the
It's
end,
further
to the
down.
right,
Yeah.
That's
where
right
the-
there. That's that home.
That's like abandoned.
But there were some homes
Yes.
to the far,
It's surrounded by DCR and
Yeah,
the
wetlands.
trustees.
right? When did you acquire it? Paul, is it okay to talk? When did
Sure,
you
why not?
acquire it? I didn't, just historically, when did you acquire the property?
Recently.
Okay.
Paul, did you have more?
No, I mean, I was just and again, I'm not saying that as a negative. I was just trying to understand what the.
No, I think it's important to
I think it would
delineate.
make two pretty cool building lots back there, to be honest with you. But I was just trying to sort through what I think the concern might be.
And I think the key is to use the right language with respect to whether it's access, right of way, road.
So
Driveway, yeah.
I wanted to throw this out to the board. There was the attachment letter from the DCR. That's not necessarily something we're going to consider for our decision. There was all these things about the sewer and the.
Well,
and the
right, that's
environment.
what I brought up about there being a problem from the DCR, but you know, the
Yeah, you
applicant is
address that. I
saying
mean,
that
that's
the
not something we
lawyers.
should be considering.
It's
We're
not-
looking
it's
at,
not our purview.
I'm just looking at 15 feet of a skinny road that goes 9 football fields.
No, so
Driveway.
the DCR was the memo that we
Right,
addressed with
yeah, I
that.
saw that. I'm not,
But I mean, even in their letter, they acknowledge our access. So it's,
yeah, I didn't understand where that was. Those have permitting process and.
yeah, there's
so it
a,
would not
there's a
be that
process we have to
permitted,
go
yeah,
through after.
Okay. You get a certain kind of permit and you gotta go by COMCON and the watershed.
Mhm.
There's a lot of oversight to get anything built there.
All right, Doris, did you have any other questions?
I just want to say I appreciate, because I couldn't really see the gates because the road was being paved this week when I wanted to go buy the property, actually. So
How did that road get paved?
I want to talk about it, but it's not going to be.
That's not-
I swear to God,
Yes, sir.
everybody else has
I
other
wanted
people
to
to
know,
do.
I wanted to
like,
know where the environmental, where the
Let's stay on
environmental.
target. Don't let me
the
go crazy.
environmental, what do they call those things? They look like snakes.
Yeah. it's
I didn't
for
see any of
runoff.
those. That
They
for
did.
runoff.
The hay waddles.
They got one section on the road, unless they picked them all up in a day, but they're not supposed to pick them up in a day, I don't think. So. But
All right.
they
So-
paved that road after that
Yeah.
memo. I was confused a bit.
Okay.
Uh,
All right,
yeah,
what else do you
so
have?
the gates, it's important to know that the gates are there. I appreciate that. That shows that it was gravelled. It was always, from, photographs, always there and access, waive your right. I don't think you could waive your right away, right? Anyways. No, I don't have a lot of questions, actually. I understand it. And what Jay's talking about, from my perspective, is something that's not concerning me as much as it's a legalese on Jay's part. So what would the worst case scenario, but we're continuing, it sounds like it's gonna be continued, is that this approval was given and if it went non-conforming, they'd be back here. What would that path look like? Laura, we don't know what that path looked,
I'm not sure.
right? So I want to box them out of approval.
No, well, but I think, yeah, I think what we want to do is ask the questions here, see if there's anybody in opposition to it, see if there's
Okay.
any other board that wants to speak up about it and continue it. And that would allow Jay to, hopefully sift through the concerns so that we can address this at the next hearing in August. I think I would just say, I would gauge the view of the board as we don't see opposition to it at this point. I can't promise you how everybody's going to vote, of course. But I think I can speak for us to say, we don't really see the problem. We want to see the legal things sorted out. So, Mike, did you have more questions?
I did not. I feel like we flushed out the thought Paul's point was really germane. Did you have?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of really deferring a lot to what Jay had to say. Looking at it in general, I'm saying if there's not opposition to it, I mean, I understand the area. You don't truly have people abutting directly there.
No.
They're kind of in the neighborhood. They're really not that close. So I don't really have concerns about doing it, provided there's not some legal issue there. And I feel pretty confident there probably isn't, but I still think it's probably the right thing to do is, since you've agreed to it, to just continue to August 12th. Okay. So first of all, so you agreed to continue it.
I think we've agreed, yeah.
Okay. Then we need a motion and a vote to continue the hearing till August 12th.
I'll make
Do
a
we have
motion.
time?
7:15.
7:15, okay.
I'm gonna make a motion to continue the hearing for 0 Northborough Road, to August 12th
Mhm.
at 7:15.
Second.
All right, motion to continue August 12th has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye, opposed nay. Paul?
All right.
Mike?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
Williams? Aye. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
See you next time. Okay. Next.
We have, it's 21 Coslin.
Yes, it's, so next on the agenda is 21 Cosmo Drive, Costco Wholesale Corporation. It is a variance. Laura, could you read the public notice? Oh, got it.
I do. The Board of Appeals of the Town of Southborough will hold a public hearing at the McAuliffe Hearing Room, 17 Common Street, Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. with regard to the petition of Costco Wholesale Corporation for the property located at 21 Cosmo Drive, Southborough, Mass. Map 25, Lot 4A. The petitioner is seeking a variance to allow lighting fixtures that exceed the maximum allowable height and retaining walls that encroach on the front and side yard setback. The property is located in the Industrial Park District, and relief is requested under section 174-D1D, section 174-12102, section 174-8.6E3A, and section 174-8.6E3C.
Thank you. All right, and who do we have here to represent the applicant?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Robert Buckley, Raymond Bronstein, my co-counsel, John Weaver from McLean Middleton. Interesting situation we have right now in terms of the recent enacted changes to the variance. We feel confident that we could meet either one, either test. If you wanted to go through on a prior test, I think that we could talk about that. Those are considerations you may, in your discretion, focus on under the new law. But we also feel that this is really in the public benefit. We'll go through a very brief presentation to show you that it's in the public benefit, given the unique character of the land, the location of the land, and the benefits that would accrue from the two minor modifications. We just to orient, we have. Can we share our screen?
Wait, who's? Okay, okay. Thank you. I just want to make sure I promote the right person.
But it's an interesting situation. It became effective on Friday night.
We're getting used to it.
Yeah, we're
Well, you know what,
used to it. We just read it.
watching what your discussion was, I think you approach it the right way. That a variance is citizens of the community trying to figure out, can you make it work for the community?
Right.
And this now gives you the discretion, basically under the new statute. It's your determination that weighing the equities that this is better for the community rather than.
A more strict standard, yeah.
I used to always tell clients that that's creative writing. You have to make it work.
But that's just it.
It is.
You got to bring that horse to water.
Right. So I assume you can. Oh, you have.
Yeah, we actually can see it here.
Oh, we can see it, right?
Which is better than you were looking at the back of our head.
I was gonna say, how do you do that?
Who knew?
Not me.
I swear to God.
That's right. That's the proposed structure.
Swear to God, I got problems.
Just for orientation. The next slide. This will give you this is the locus map. It's the West Route 9. It's a former Dell, a portion of the Dell Computer Campus, 21 Cosland. There were buildings on it, those have been demolished. A small portion of the property lies in the town of Westboro. The bulk of the property and the structure itself will be in Southborough. While this plan doesn't show it, the grade change from Route 9 to the rear of the site is roughly 40 feet. So it's a rather stiff
Yeah.
decline.
Yep.
But that's important for one of the reasons in the old standard.
So just if I can, the back of the property is going to be on the Westboro line, just from a visual aspect.
The main entrance, you'll see in the next slide.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That
Just wanted to make sure I'm looking at where the grade would be.
The drop is here.
Okay,
I-
I had it wrong.
Those are-
Okay, thank you.
I think the next slide.
Yeah, it'll say
Perfect,
it.
thank you, sorry.
Got up to the
I just
property.
didn't wanna
There's no building.
not
there
understand
now.
where the
It
grade.
just gives you a location, and you can see that behind the site, I would say to the bottom of the screen, there's a fair amount of wetlands, those lie in Westboro.
Mhm.
There will be two entrances, off Coslin and on, what is now Washington. And then, there'll be another exit, which will go out onto, Crystal Pond Road, I believe it's called. To your point, this is the, location, the site plan, which is in the process of being finalized, which will be
Got it.
filed, shortly. You can see the main entrance. It's not under the bylaw that was adopted at the town meeting. You have to be a certain distance off of Route 9, so this building qualifies for that. And the main entrance is in the, I would call it the rear behind.
Yes, I got it now.
But the main parking field fronts the main entrance. What we have, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. It's all the smoke from Canada.
Yeah.
You can't even see outside so bad.
But the two areas highlighted in yellow indicate the retaining walls that have to be implemented in order to level the site, which is important because we want the customers, from a safety standpoint, to be able to walk on a level surface. So if you visualize it, it will be a slight plateau. And it was brought up earlier under your bylaw, anything over 6 feet is deemed a structure. So those, the yellow portion of those walls as so shown are in the existing setbacks, so we need a variance for those.
Okay.
Could we do it otherwise? Yes, but I think it would degrade the site and create some safety issues. So is there any questions about this? This is we didn't really want to get into the fine points of the site plan because it's really not germane to this hearing, but that's basically what the building is going to look like.
Yeah.
And its orientation on the site.
I was more concerned. I mean, I see the one in that corner, the one that's 0 to 31 feet. So that one.
Yeah.
That's more interesting.
Okay, so if we
The
go.
far corner,
Yeah.
Left corner.
it drops on that
Right.
corner. Was that
Fascinating.
significantly drops.
I would never guess that.
Yeah.
If you get up to sight, like, oh, then you actually.
No, I've been back there. I
Yeah.
never.
So
Because you're
basically
looking at it
from
right-
Washington
I
Street
think you're right.
Yeah.
headed
They're moving the building.
into the
Yeah.
property, it's going to go from 0 to 31 feet high. Right.
Wow. Okay.
That's
But
how.
of course,
Yeah.
there'll be safety.
Oh, yeah.
You can look like that Wegman stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's just.
That's about the end of the way.
This is a schematic of that.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
that's-
What it would look like, there'll be appropriate landscaping, but you can see there's safety grading and fencing at the top, and there's no parking adjacent to the wall.
Okay.
But that allows the site to be level for purposes of the convenience of the customers as well as delivery and site circulation with cars. So that's the first request for relief. And again, it ties into, we could discuss the old standards, which were what I call the white, black and white standards, and the new standards allow you to make a determination based upon the equities and the facts that it's in the town's best interest. The other is with respect to the lighting. Your bylaw requires lighting poles of 20 feet. We can go over that and require relief. We have a higher light pole for a couple of reasons. One, if you look to the left, my left, your right, I guess it would be, that it results in a number of additional foundations and stanchions for the light poles, which in a site of this magnitude with activity that will be pronounced, they become an impediment to site circulation. And the one on the right goes from 113 to now to 49 poles, and they're oriented in a way that allows for convenient pedestrian as well as vehicular circulation. Now, if we go to the next slide, the one on, again, the one on.
It's the same.
Same,
Yeah.
but it's both the same. These are the 36. We wanted to show that we are going to be black sky compliant, and the property line is this is an actual existing facility that was shot with a drone. There's no bleed at the property line of light into adjacent properties. And you can see that there are very few shadows in the parking lot. If we went to Is the next slide the one with the,
This is the, yeah,
this is the 20. If you look at that, you can
Thanks.
see that a number of shadows and what I call dark spots exist. And pedestrians and site circulation, we feel, is compromised with that versus the 36 foot poles, which leads to a better safety situation.
Just because you distribute the light from a higher distance.
We don't have as many poles in the light. It's the shields are being designed so you don't have those little spots that you
Yep.
see with the.
Can you go back one slide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see there.
It's like, I can't put them side by side if it is. There's the
No,
before and
it's fascinating.
yeah, can I just see the before and after on the lights? Again,
So you can see that.
I did look at the deck before.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's-
Oh, okay, we have a tech person, yeah, split the view, that's what it is, because I kept having to flip when I was. What's it?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, that's been.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, you get a sense that it. And if you've been to a Costco, you know that there's a lot of activity, and so we just feel that this is a much safer situation, and the relief, and we're not in any way bleeding into abutting properties, even though there are no residential properties abutting us. Nonetheless, we're respecting the burden of the property, and using dark sky compliant shields, etc.
But you're,
But those are really
and the
simulations.
the
right?
30-foot.
yeah, these are simulations. This is
Yeah,
the first
30-foot.
picture which you showed. That's a drone shot of an actual store.
Yeah.
These are-
But yeah, you can tell they have the exact same dimensions and vehicles. So.
When we are at a question, but we can wait.
Thank you.
And then that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's the presentation for the two.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I know the town is sensitive to, like you said, the dark sky. But I know we've certainly been here before where they've talked about like the technology to make sure it's all pointing down. You can be sure the planning board will want those to be energy efficient as well. It's not really our purview right now, but yeah, why don't we go around and ask questions? You said you were all set, correct? Paul, any questions from you?
I don't have any questions, just a couple of comments. I mean, we've had a couple of situations in the not so distant past with lighting, and I think it's been very well explained and determined from those, and that's very consistent with what's being said and displayed here. So I'm pretty comfortable with it. And I know from the past discussions we've had, I do have a contact in the lighting industry, and basically asked him about this, and it is definitely advised, for the less poles, the higher poles, the technology now is much better than it used to be when we put a restriction of a 20-foot pole. So I think this is very sound and makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
I don't have any questions at this time.
Doris?
I'm certainly not a lighting expert. It looks safer. You're going to have close to 900 parking spots, and I don't know the hours that Costco will run. It is a lighting question. If I were on Route 9, okay, and I'm going to be below it, am I going to have a big glowing sets of light on the hill? Yeah, I just can't get that because when you're down.
First of all, Costco is a destination, so you don't have to have the presence right on the street.
No, I mean, it's back.
It's
but-
back, and the
but are we
building
gonna look
will be a natural shield too, because the building will be.
Okay,
Between that and
it's
the
not gonna look
parking
like ET and the
No,
thing, the
and-
glowing.
As part of the site plan review, we'll have a photometric plan showing it, and we'll have it all mapped out. So
But from an efficiency perspective, with Paul, it's less, less lights, better coverage, safety, and on the topography, I've seen the property, and it would be pretty extensive to grade the property to get 900 spots in. And if you had disabled people, nobody's going to park there. Even the regular people with the disabilities, nobody's going to park and walk up that grade. It makes those spaces not function well. Or even the large trucks that pull in for delivery. I don't recall exactly what that area
Plus,
would
if you don't
come.
have a level like a plateau, you're gonna have runaway carts.
That's true.
Okay.
Now you have
And
rented
the-
cars.
And the drone shot, I think, does a really nice job of illustrating how the light gets
No, I really don't have any questions, David.
curtailed at the edge of the property.
Yeah.
I think you'll see that from.
I understand
see
that.
from-
Yeah, that
Understand
was
that.
pretty fascinating.
We don't have neighbors, but do we have anybody who's,
We'll get to that. So the height of the retaining wall doesn't really, I mean, I think we've all seen them at other shopping centers. There's one in Millbury comes to mind that's huge. It's got to be way over 36 feet. So it doesn't concern, or 31, sorry. And I already talked about the lights. I think that's pretty convincing. I don't think the height is really going to bother anybody, knowing especially that you're kind of down a hill off of Route 9. You know, again, needing the dark skies is not a concern. When you're doing that I think that certainly helps sell a little bit more. Do we have anybody who wants to speak for or against the application, either in person or online? Okay,
I have no hands raised
all
online.
right. And no, you'll be seeing enough boards other as it is.
To that point, Mr. Chairman, we are constantly getting inquiries from the press and everything. We will be before the board very shortly, but we needed to get the relief first because now we can finalize the plans. But we have an excellent design staff and civil engineer staff. So
Okay,
I would say within the next few weeks, we'll start the process. And the questions that were raised here will be covered in those, in particularly lighting and site circulation and grading will
sure.
be addressed.
Okay. All right. If there's no other comments, then we can close public hearing.
I think it's time to close the public hearing. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
second?
All right, motion to close the public hearing is made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Paul?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
Williams, aye. All right. We need to have, I'm sorry?
Finding.
Findings.
Finding. Sorry about
Well,
finding.
let's see if we want to make a decision. If the board's interested in entertaining a motion to approve the relief as requested. If we feel like that's an order, then I think the findings would be, again, kind of, if we can just borrow what we did on the first hearing, is that given the lot's unique location, the issue with respect to the height needed for those variances, as well as for the height with respect to the lights, as far as a safety perspective, I think we can use the new law's language with respect to, I want to use the exact one.
Well, yeah, I want to say, I mean, I think you're supposed to weigh it against, like safety is one of the things.
Safety.
I think this is clearly where this is going.
Absolutely.
We need those
That's what I
retaining
wanted to
walls
get
for
to this.
safety.
Against the detriment of public health, safety, and welfare.
Right.
And so that's
This
where
is
I,
actually counter to that.
That's
By
what I-
granting it, we're making it, we're allowing. them to make it
that's my
safer.
argument.
In both the lighting and in the
Right, both of them
retaining wall.
apply to
To
that.
level the parking lot.
So, yeah, we could probably word that in some way by finding, right? So.
Yeah, because I think that way we weave both the language from the prior zoning as well as applying the new standard. And so then that way we're addressing both of those concerns from a findings perspective.
Yeah, and I from a difficulty perspective, the difficulty of not leveling it is how do you make that work?
Absolutely.
You just simply don't, unless you're tiering parking lots, and that's
It just doesn't make
ridiculous.
sense. Yeah.
They have to put a trolley cart around it.
Yeah.
It's
Have like a Disney cart going around.
Right.
Exactly.
Actually, there's places that actually do that.
No, so I think given the lots, the issues with the lot.
And right, that is topography.
That is the topography.
Right.
That is by definition. We don't need creative writing for that. Those are but those are facts.
Right, right.
And so I think it's my opinion that it's relief is warranted under that circumstance for
Okay.
with respect to that. And then for the lighting that goes to me, that goes to the safety.
Yeah.
So those would be my 2
Right.
points in finding in favor of the petitioner.
Yeah, and I think especially when it comes to the lighting, what I had mentioned, the having the higher poles makes it safer. You also aren't really, who are you impacting
Right.
as a neighbor?
That's
Because
it.
you're not near a neighbor. And again, like I mentioned, they're kind of
Yeah, I
stepped
think
down
if,
into a hollow there.
I think if this was more of a concern from just think of like a bad lighting situation. I just don't see that in this location.
Okay.
And they're gonna iron out those questions we had in site planning that doesn't look like a spaceship rising from below.
You can be sure they're gonna get all those from.
Laura, you got that in the
Make sure
findings?
they got-
Will not look like a spaceship.
No spaceships.
Right,
We
right.
should make it a condition.
Yeah, we should make that a condition. We'd be able to
Let's not
enforce that.
represent
Lee.
a space.
Mark would love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
Be like, how do I enforce that?
another winning
That's a-
unenforceable zoning
Doesn't bring in
violation.
Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, no, I think you said ET, but it was
Close encounters.
Close
Thank
encounters
you.
of some kind.
We're all the
I
same
thought
page.
we looked to see Jay Towers.
There we go.
That were they?
Yes.
The lighting.
We might make the news.
Jay might have-
In deference to the very detailed lighting law the town has, a lot of effort went in the lighting, but it's gonna move to site planning.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, but this is that, in my, it's absolutely a safety issue.
Yeah,
There are 900, that's 1,000, we won't say 1,000, but that's 900 parking spots potentially, and,
Just from
you know,
like a
we
night
wanna work in
safety, people
coordination
getting to
with
their
our public
cars. at
safety
night.
department.
Yeah, it's just-
You know, because they would come back and say, well, we couldn't see them in that dark corner. And so, work with
Plowing,
some
everything
for
else.
safety.
all right.
So,
All right.
You wanna take a crack
So I'll
at it?
make a motion to approve the petitioner's request for relief as drafted.
Second,
All right. Motion has been made to approve the variance as drafted with a second. All in favor, respond with aye, opposed nay. Paul, you're in the dark. Mike,
Aye.
Doris,
aye.
and Williams, aye. Your
Thank
variance is
you
granted.
very much.
Thank you guys. Thank you all.
He said just,
Taller lights.
Doing this for a living, it was very enjoyable to sit here and listen to people reason. Seriously.
I know, I get it.
considering we're the reasonable board, right?
No, but it was
No,
legitimate questions, but it's good to see people reason. Because in today's times, you don't want to be shutting something down.
Well, thank you.
So,
It's funny because
Was refreshing.
Interesting.
thank you.
it's what you said though, Doris. Like you go, like I'm an attorney, and it's just like you go to these boards and they're just trying to say no. Like it's the answer is no, and let me explain why it's no.
No, I think the
Yeah.
the CPA profession has a lot of flexibility. It's still self-governed pretty much. And it really comes down to the judgment of how you're gonna show something in a setup.
And I think the amendment to the statute gives,
You're going to a high standard, but you gotta think it through.
yeah, and it gives instructions essentially to courts that they need to give deference to what the reasoning is of the boards, and also instructs boards essentially provide your reasoning, really make sure it's well supported.
Sometimes it's the reasoning is that the town and the voters of the town put in bylaws, and it's really important for me to respect that, it's the same, but things change over time, so you can't be rigid. I mean, the environment change and then we have
That's a
zoning
good way to
code.
put it.
We have zoning code, but we have different matters in different times since COVID. And there was another time, it was just the last petition, 1896. A road is a road, it's not a road.
No, I have a question. I don't know if I've been before this board, but I've been before a lot of boards of late. 50 years ago, you've heard this story,
Oh, yes.
but I got it today.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
50 years ago,
50,
50,
okay?
a defensive tackle from Yale knocked my front teeth out.
50
And I
years
was
ago.
on the ground, and he said, "You're going to remember me someday." And about January of this year, I had to have surgery to replace one of the posts. and I've been waiting patiently for my implant. I got it today.
Just today? That's been a long time coming.
I know, I've been very, very self-conscious about slurring my words or whatever, but how'd I do?
You did
Great,
wonderful.
great.
No,
Congratulations.
What did they give you? They give you like a, what do they call it? What did they do? They had to give you like a tap, right?
I couldn't use that. I'm doing a major project. I want to know, sure, the first time I used it, it popped out. Talk about embarrassing.
I can really, I live in the dentist.
I thought you were gonna tell me that was
Inside the
Bubba
eyes.
Smith or somebody that hit you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Sometimes they say no, so,
Okay,
All
so,
right.
okay, so where are we?
all right, next agenda item is reorganization of the board. We need to vote for
Is
chair
that time of year again?
and clerk every year.
Okay.
I do want to say, if you want to wait until you have a full board, that's okay too.
Wait,
I don't care.
Doesn't matter
Do
to
we
me.
want, what do we want to do? You're president for your life. We can never.
where's Greg? Greg moves back in.
Well, this is, I'm in the final year and I've said, there won't be more after this, so.
You can, the board all together or president?
No, the board altogether.
Okay, that
So,
sucks. But I get it.
yeah,
Are you,
yeah.
you're not that old.
No, but there's only so much you can
There's
Oh,
only
I
so many
see where
years
it's
you gotta
coming
do it,
That's just
so.
it. Like,
Yeah.
You put a lot of years on the feelings board.
Yeah, but it's just.
I am 65.
How many
I'm not
years
trying
you
to
been
be
on?
six-
You know, I don't even remember now.
It's
It
been
goes
at
back a
least
long
10.
time. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
first
It's gotta be,
petition was
you're
the,
before me and
was
I'm
the,
like eight.
questionable marijuana shop or something.
Was the, yeah, it was the
Yeah,
medical marijuana shop.
medical
The first one I got on, like, I still maybe.
Wow, that was
hottest
just
years
before
we've
me.
had.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have
That's
really
been a
got to
while.
Because I
start
was-
seeking people
Yes.
to,
Man, was
I'm
that a
65.
lot to do about nothing.
Oh, yeah, now it's closed.
I'm gonna go,
So,
I'm gonna stay on.
Fascinating.
so anyway,
As long as the select board wants me.
I mean, I'm okay with being the
I'll
chair
finish
one
out
more
strong.
year, or if you guys want
Oh,
to
yeah.
make the transition, you can make the transition.
I unless somebody else
Where's
wants
Paul?
it. Doris, you want it? You want to
That's,
chair?
you know, one of the issues is I really have a very, I'm always here when I'm here, but when I'm not here, I guess since the time commitment by David is pretty steep.
That's the whole thing.
Right, so it's steep, but I'm fully retired. I don't have a gig, I don't have any gig work, but, can we wait till
What-
next
what- yeah,
meeting then?
yeah, I'm
I need to
okay with,
understand what time.
with delaying it.
Fine.
It'd be good to have
delay it.
Jamie
Yeah,
and,
Jamie
and,
It's just, can I do the
Yeah,
time and
Well,
it's
maybe
not
Doug
about
wants
it.
it. I could care less. I just don't want it to be me. Let me tell you what I'm firm on.
I'm not a hard no. I'm not a hard no. But it's just where am I? And it's like, where's Carmen San Diego? I'm always getting on remotely, but more so other people get on remotely than I ever do. But I'm away about 3-4
Okay.
months a
All
year.
right, for next meeting then.
yeah, we can do it next meeting.
All right, what else we got?
We
I don't know
have
if I'm capable of
approval,
doing it. That was-
approval of meeting minutes from June 10th, 2026. So,
I looked at these, I'll make a motion to approve this drafted unless somebody else has something to say.
I honestly, I looked at a lot of stuff. I'm just taking a quick look through them now. I'm not seeing that, I mean, that there's anything here significant. Doris, did you take a look at the minutes?
I was looking at everything. Ask
Everything.
Laura, she knows. But I didn't look at the minutes because the minutes are not in the folder on the earlier side. That's really
Oh.
predominantly the reason I'm not looking at them. So
Sorry.
if you can place them
Earlier,
earlier than the day of, you know,
they went in July 6th.
why can't I see the minutes?
I don't know.
I swore.
I try to have them there at least a week before the meeting.
Okay, so, okay, what can, I swore I was looking for them because I found everything else. Okay, but no, I did not, therefore.
Do you guys want to hold off on those?
We can hold on.
Let's do that.
Okay.
It's in-
All right,
I'm trying to remember what we did. on
We're
those.
deferring and we're deferring. Okay. The next item we had was 2-family zoning bylaw. Do we have any updates on that?
Yes.
We do,
We do.
yeah, we do,
We do.
we do.
We need the final draft tonight.
Ooh,
Is that my fault?
That's pressure.
No, that's not your fault.
Oh.
So we can, it's
Bro,
not.
I know I had to go home and draft.
You're like, oh no, no.
What are you doing
No.
the rest of the
I
night,
swear
Mike?
to God.
It is drafted. It has been reviewed by town council. The reason we need it tonight is because we do not have another meeting prior to the time frame that we need to submit it to the select board, who needs to refer it to planning board, and then we got to do the public hearings. So if you're okay with it, I will run through it really quick,
Yes,
and you
please
guys
do.
can add.
Can we put it on the screen?
Yes. I will.
Yeah, so it's gone through a couple renditions, and my only open point is why we have no conditions. You'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So I'll let it load. Okay.
And I made one edit to you today, so.
Oh, good for you.
Yes, there is a typo on here. So everything in blue are Jay's edits, but everything else is what has been drafted between Doris and I in our conversations and the board's previous discussion. So the first step would be to add a definition into section 174-2 for a two-family dwelling. Because it is currently not defined. We have a definition for a single family and a multifamily, but not a two-family. So that would be step one. I'll let you read that before I scroll.
What's the two?
Yeah, there's
That's the typo.
this is the typo. So
You said you're correct, it's absolutely. There it goes.
so there we go.
Except that a single family dwelling with an accessory dwelling unit attached or detached shall not be considered. Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. I
So
had
there's
I had
that.
to
Yeah, so that was to bring it in line with the 80.
view law bylaws because it's not a two-family.
So we didn't even have a full definition in
No,
our
that's
zoning code.
perfect.
so-
That's exactly what I wanted it to read like.
So then you go through and we amend, because currently what's in our bylaw is the conversion of a single family home that's been in existence for 2 years or longer to a two-family home on a lot with a minimum of 15,000 square feet. That's the current use that's allowed in all these districts. We are proposing to amend it to construction of a two-family dwelling, so new construction, or the conversion of a single family dwelling to a two-family dwelling, no time frame, on a lot that meets the minimum lot size for the zoning district in which the dwelling is located.
Okay.
Could
So
you scroll down where that is? Because
right here,
okay.
this highlighted section. So if I expand this, you guys can see my notes on that.
Okay.
In doing some research, that 15,000 square foot minimum came from the original zoning bylaw in 1955.
And that's why 1955 keeps
That's
sticking
where
with.
the 1955. So in 1955, we had residence A, we had residence B, and we had residence C. Residence C minimum lot size was 15,000 square feet. So that's where that tied into. We got rid of residence C in 1966. We discontinued that. Our bylaw does include a provision that lots laid out and recorded prior to 1966 can be built on to residence C dimensional standards for a single family home only. So two-family home is automatically disqualified from that. So I felt this might be a good time to update that minimum lot size. And that way too, you have a lot of lots, like Southville Road area that tend to be a little bit smaller.
For
We're
sure.
not trying to cram a whole bunch of stuff in there. It might be a better way to address like the equity of where these are placed.
Okay.
So that's where that lot size change came from. So all of this is just updating the uses in all the districts. Currently, this use is in every district except the industrial park. So we will just amend it in all those districts. The last part of this is to amend section 174-9G, which is our special permit requirements for two-family dwellings. So I think what might be easier is to go down here. This is the red line version of it. So it would be to add in the construction of a two-family dwelling or the conversion of a one-family house, remove the 2-year waiting period, and then come down here to the additional conditions, which we have struck all of them because we updated the lot size within the use itself. where it says there must be no other apartment on the lot on which the two-family residence is proposed, we cannot do that anymore because ADUs are allowed on two-family lots.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which I have a note about that too for you guys. And then this third condition, not more than the required minimum exterior alterations have been or will be made. We remove that within the ADU bylaw, and if we're allowing new construction, or like removing that waiting period, it really doesn't make sense to say you can only do the minimum exterior alterations. Like, we want new construction. So there's that. There is a question in here that, so this is the clean version of that section. Currently, we have this provision in here that there shall also be a report from the planning board describing the lot on which the dwelling is located, the neighborhood where it's located, and the effects of the proposed two-family dwelling thereon, the adequacy of ingress and egress provisions, and any recommendations by the planning board as to the advisability of granting it. So I put in a note that, just in an effort to perhaps streamline, maybe the board considers removing that if the planning board is on board with it, because all of those things are looked at through the building commissioner as part of the building permit process. So not a requirement to remove it. I just wanted to.
Yeah,
note
Jim
that
Solomon
was in
said,
there.
no disrespect, but
Yeah.
what are they doing here? I catch it.
Yeah. So all of those items you're saying can be addressed by the building
Mhm.
commissioner.
Yeah, he does review all of those as part of the building permit. And
So
it
why
would,
do you go to
it-
special permit if we have no conditions now?
so you still have conditions. You still have the standard special permit conditions that are in section 174-9,
Okay,
where, that's where is it substantially more detrimental to
Yeah,
the
okay.
neighborhood and all of those. So you still have conditions by which to grant it by, and most of our special permits actually only have those standard conditions. There's only a handful of ones that have additional conditions.
okay, all right, so it was said to me in planning where we pull the ADU out of special permit entirely, just entirely by right.
Yeah,
This is not by right, they would still have to.
right. This
um,
would still be special permit.
So nothing with the square footage and the minimums, and you can't put a two-family bigger than the lot, those kinds of things that kind of came up at planning last time, so. Um, what this also addresses is sometimes ADU isn't the right fit.
Correct.
They may want to be more than 1,200 square feet, so that
Mhm.
was another reason to look at. So you could have put 6,000 square feet up, and 2,000 of the 6,000 could be the second family on the top floor.
It could be, yeah.
It could be.
And then with regards to ADUs and two-family dwellings, the bylaw that was recently passed, the size limit was 1,200 square feet, but not
No bigger.
larger than the principal
Right, we-
dwelling. I did ask town council about
Yeah, kind of
that.
like, where could we have gone wrong?
Yeah.
Where are we going wrong here that we don't end up with 10,000 on
Well,
top of 3,000 or something to that effect?
so the ADU, if this were to pass and somebody wanted to put an ADU on a two-family dwelling, the principal dwelling, I believe, would default to the state definition of principal dwelling under the ADU regulations, which my understanding, MJ agreed, is the whole structure. So if you have a 5,000 square foot two-family
Existing.
home,
Okay, or
Right.
two-family home.
say you have a two-family home that the total square footage is 5,000 square feet,
Right,
they'd be capped at 1,200 square feet for an ADU.
that's true.
So there is also the consideration that, I don't think people are going to be running out to build these. They're very expensive. But also, if you're adding an ADU onto a two-family, if it's attached, I'm not super familiar with it, but I do know that there's provisions within the building code that once you get to a certain number of dwellings, and I think it's when you go from 2 to 3, it becomes commercial. You have to hit the commercial code, which is very expensive to do. You have to sprinkler and do all that stuff. So I don't want people to think that we're gonna
Well, so what,
be building.
some of the non.
two families and then ADUs.
Non-conforming, technical, it was always a 3-unit. It's making it into an apartment building in some
Yeah.
backwards. way.
So I think those pre-existing non-conforming multifamily homes that are, 3-family if they were to do any significant building upgrades, they would have to bring it to today's code.
I see.
So
So a, two-family can have an ADU.
two-family can have an ADU. They would be limited to no more than 1,200 square feet.
Right.
But again, if
They can't have two.
they
ADUs.
cannot have two ADUs.
You're allowed one by right.
Yes. And our bylaw does not make a provision for an additional ADU.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Then there was a question of public hearing.
yes. So timeline. Before we do that really quick, I talked with Lisa Braccio on the planning board, and she had a really good idea because when it comes to zoning, warrant articles, education is always great. So she suggested that we hold a public forum. Our August agenda is fairly light, so if the board is willing, we could advertise for a public forum for August 12th, and I can start advertising for that tomorrow. And just people can come and ask questions, and we can have the bylaw. I can put together an info sheet if you guys think that would be helpful.
Definitely, always.
Definitely,
Okay.
because what happened in advisory, and then we had a sort of a mini rush at the end.
Yeah.
If we have a forum.
And what I can do is I'll put it out to the boards and committees as well. So advisory, select
So-
board, planning.
Just in terms of that date though, you said August 12th is our next hearing and we just scheduled that for 7:15. What do we have at 7?
We have an appeal at 7.
Okay, and those look not too bad. Like we can fit this in. Okay.
Yeah.
Appeal.
I think if we do
I've never, 6 years, I've never seen an appeal.
What's the appeal for?
it's an appeal of a
Denial.
building commissioner decision. So
Okay.
Was it March?
Yep.
Oh, that could be interesting.
It was what?
the current building commissioner. So we could schedule that for say 7:30.
We did have one appeal. It wasn't actually an appeal. It was the shared driveway accessory building issue.
Ah.
But yeah, something like that. That was a very incredible hearing.
Mm,
It's the big ones, that and the pool.
fun.
Mm.
Okay, so timeline going forward.
We're gonna rehear this at 7:15 and
Yes.
7 o'clock an appeal.
Yeah.
And then.
And Jay
Yes.
will be here for that meeting. So timeline, we need to submit the final draft to the select board no later than August 4th, but because we don't have a meeting, if you guys would take a vote to send this one, that would be great. I have asked for us to be on the select board agenda for August 11th. So the process is select board needs to refer it to the planning board. They need to put that on an agenda to do it. I just need somebody to be there. August 11th.
There's no reason I shouldn't be able to, but someone else would go too. And there's just this one meeting I'd gone to. I forget what it was, this meeting at the end of the ADU for advisory.
Oh.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's okay with me.
Okay. All right, and I'll put it out to Jamie and Doug too, in case they're interested. And if I have 3 people, I'll post an agenda. So then August 12th is our meeting. We'll have the public forum. We have a placeholder on the August 17th planning board agenda for a discussion with them about this. So I wanted to see if anybody is available to attend that one.
Well, I just get the August, what time is their meeting? 6:30?
Which one?
Select board?
Yes. Actually, I think select board and planning are 6:30.
How could they be at the same time?
They're on different days.
Which one am I supposed to go? I'm sorry.
Both. So August 11th at 6:30 is select board.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay. I'm sorry, you're going faster. I'm gonna pick up my
You're
pace.
good.
All right, 6:30 PM.
Yep.
Okay, and when is planning?
Planning is August 17th.
Can't be there.
Okay. Do we have
I'm in Rhode
anyone
Island.
else who
I'm
can
in Rhode
go?
Island. It's hard day.
I don't think I can.
I can't physically be there. And it would be
Jenny's gonna
really
be-
difficult because I'm with like the whole family, you know.
Yeah,
in the house.
Jenny's overseas, so I won't be able to.
Okay, I'm listening. I could do it remotely, but that would be, it's gonna be like, I'm up gonna have to like seal a room.
Yeah, I'm just.
At a beach house.
concerned that We're supposed to have a plan and I've forgotten what it is.
It's okay. I don't need an answer tonight.
Okay.
If you want to get back to me.
But I'm in country, so I mean, I guess I could.
Maybe
I
what I'll do is I'll put all of this after the meeting. I'll put all of this in an
Yeah,
email
okay.
to you guys and then
Okay.
I'll have people sign up for it. But just to go through the rest of the timeline, we will submit the legal ad by August 26th. The first public hearing with the planning board would be September 14th. The second one would be September 28th. And then town meeting is October 17th. I'll send it to you so you have it.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
It is a lot, but so that's the timeline that we're working
Summers in
with
the Midwest.
for town meeting.
So no,
Oh.
I'm holding my,
Make
there,
me
I'm
panic.
holding my plan. I'm going overseas, but it'll be after the 17th. I'll probably go on the 19th. I'm gonna go
Okay.
overseas, so as long as I know in advance, but on my 40th wedding anniversary
That's right.
vacation
Good for
in
you.
September, but that would be, I don't know, we'll just work it out. You know,
Okay.
work it out. Remote, there's no reason it can't be remote, but I'm gonna have trouble with my schedule.
Okay, so if you guys would be willing to vote to submit this draft, and then I can take it from there.
We need a motion.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the draft.
Second,
All right, motion to approve the draft for the two-family modification has been made and seconded. All in favor, respond with aye, opposed nay. Paul?
All right.
Mike?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Okay, very good. We can send that on. The very last thing I think we had here was upcoming schedule, which you sort of just have been going over.
So schedule and a couple administrative updates, and I'm just gonna throw some stuff at you. We don't need to discuss, but stuff that you need to be aware of. So next meeting obviously is August 12th. We just talked about that. The one after that is September 16th, just so that's on your radar. I sent an email about it, and you may have seen like a news flash and stuff, but I did send an email. Our applicants received a scam email recently that said, it said it was from the Southborough Planning Commission and their application had been approved and they just needed to pay an additional fee. It was very clearly not from us, but I just want to make sure you guys are aware in case you get questions about that. We did send out a news flash. We had Beth post something on the blog about it. And then, the tricky part is we think they're using information from our meeting packets and like publicly available documents. So there was no breach of security or anything like that. This happened in Framingham, I want to say back in like November. So it's a known scam around the area. But just in case you get questions or want to let people be aware of that, I'm going to be working with applicants going forward just to make sure when they submit an application that we would never request anything like that. Zoning legislation, we all know the curveball that threw at us. So it's more than just the variances. There's some stuff with pre-existing non-conforming uses and structures. There's a whole bunch. I gave you guys the advisory. Karina, our town planner, had proposed, I don't know if it's happening yet, but we're seeing if maybe Jay Tellerman's office can host like a little webinar training thing on it. Just because I think that everybody has a lot of questions. It kind of came out of nowhere and we don't fully understand the impact at this point. We will need to do some bylaw updates for that. But that'll be for the spring. And then we could add to the next agenda to discuss further, but we don't have to. It's up to you. I can just keep sending you information as I get it.
Yeah, I mean, the webinar sounds like a great idea to me, so I'm definitely in favor of that.
Okay. Well, I'll see what comes through between now and our next meeting and we can go from there. Some upcoming bylaw changes that have been discussed that I think you guys should maybe be aware of, and if any of them interest you and you want to work on some of them, that would be great. Mark Robidoux and I had a meeting with Lisa Braccio and Karina Quinn. And we talked about some potential bylaw updates because I think we all know our bylaws pretty outdated. So some of the things that we talked about were signs, maybe potentially moving the special permit for signs to planning board as part of their site plan. Just like, you know, they're looking
Yeah.
at the lighting and the landscaping, the exterior of the building. Could they loop signs into that? Is there a way to streamline that? Because that was the bulk of our applications last year, just because the nature of these office buildings and multi-use buildings are changing. At a very minimum, I think the dimensional regulations should be updated. So we're kind of discussing very, very preliminary that. There's been some concern about short-term rentals. So, you know, things like Airbnbs that are being rented out weekly or daily or however.
In our
Anyways,
area,
yeah, in
we
town,
have
we've had,
registrations and fire codes and all sorts of things that
yeah.
makes you want to think and get ahead of it, I suppose. You think we have a tsunami of Airbnbs?
There are a handful. This came because we had a complaint about one of them, and just the number of cars that are coming in and out, and you know, noise and stuff like that, safety
Really?
concerns.
Yeah, where's the party house? I mean, I'm just South Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
You don't have to answer that. I'll give you the police log.
But anyway, so taking a look at, you know, they have to register with the state. And technically, under the state building code, our building commissioner is allowed to inspect these. However, we don't have a listing of them. We don't have like registrations of them.
They're a business. They need to register in town. They are covered to be registered. But people don't register their businesses.
Yeah.
Okay. And they should be taxed as such.
So
They've got business
there's
property
like
now.
there's some tricky stuff with it. But so we've been talking about maybe doing some sort of bylaw to address short-term rentals, whether it be a full ban on, you know, no short-term rentals,
It's
aka
interesting.
less than 31 days. Or is there a way to regulate it in a way that addresses the
I think
concerns?
we
that
could
people-
so lose if we ban short-term rentals. I
Yeah,
don't think we legally could do that.
I think
we can.
we can for certain.
Yeah.
The interesting thing was at town meeting when that came up,
Mhm.
people were like, enough, we're gonna do what we want. So
Yeah.
the room was overwhelmingly like,
We don't want this. Yeah.
meaning we don't want regulation.
So maybe looking at, is
Until
there
there's
a
a
way,
So
is there a way to allow it in a way that addresses some of the safety concerns? And, you know, there are towns who have restrictions on, you know, owner occupancy or the maximum number of people who can be there
that's
tied to
so
the
who's
number of
enforcing that?
bedrooms
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
But
So,
isn't that normal health code violation anyways?
no. So I know.
Well, you can tell how many people are living in a house by how many cars are in the driveway. I mean, who's gonna regulate that? You know, that's gonna be really
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
I don't think,
I don't know, that's not the kind of flavor of the town, but maybe put some safety,
something for safety, right?
registration. I'm always about taxing people, taxing and some level of tax, always some other things we could tax before that.
So that's just one of the things that you're working on.
Just preliminary discussions,
What
yeah.
else?
Parking, so the parking for more than 3 cars, that special permit, taking a look at that because now with ADUs,
What,
We're
was
not
there
sure
ever
how
been a
that's gonna
limit on
impact it.
parking? I should know that, right?
so we do special permits for parking for more than 3 cars.
In
under
a
our
single
bylaw.
family home.
In a single family home. And it's,
Does anybody apply for those?
we've done several of them in the time
Here?
that I've been here. Yeah. We did one last year on Lorenzo Drive.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We see it with the garages, you mean?
Oh.
Yes, with the garage.
Thank you, it's with the garage we see that. I've seen that many times, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But but you put 4 cars in a driveway, which there's plenty of place with 4 cars in a driveway. That's supposed to be special.
Yeah, it's
but
parking.
now with
Parking.
ADUs and the need for increased parking,
Yeah.
you know, should we take a look at that number?
And then what about the curb cut problem?
I mean, they still need permission for curb cut, right?
People just curb cut. there's so much legacy curb.
All right, so that's not what we're talking about. Let's stay on the subject.
David's like, it is late, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
My tummy is.
Okay.
And then, I know I briefly mentioned it, I think a couple of years ago, but maybe taking a look at the multiple uses on one lot. If there's a way that we can streamline that or update it.
Multiple.
It's
Oh, you mean-
currently prohibited without a special permit.
Oh, some of the legacy properties, you see that a lot of, or,
Yeah.
and then with the changeover on Route 9.
Yeah,
But
But
we did a single permit for Route 9.
we did a lot for the office buildings.
Yeah, we did a
Last
lot.
year.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did a lot for them.
And then it's just the bylaw updates to go along with the new state legislation. And then last thing, I just want to put on your radar, that consolidated local permit for solar and battery energy storage systems.
Yeah,
It's going into effect October 1st. We are required to accept those applications. So nothing's going to change in terms of our process, but our decision will be folded into one giant decision. And the town has 12 months to put that giant decision together and issue it. So not a heavy lift for us, but we're working with the select board on figuring out some of the details on that. But I just wanted to let you know that that's coming up and we'll be here sooner rather than later. So all that, and I'm done.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Airbnb parking.
okay.
They had a consultant come in a number of years back. You can't turn that.
Nope.
Consultant came in a number of years back and they did a report, but then you still have to allocate the tasks, so
Yeah.
making modifications on code.
Nothing else administratively. Our next meeting is August 12th.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
You still with us, Paul?
I'm here.
All right, we need you.
So, well, before my official duty, in the future, if I'm on Zoom like this, I'd like my image to be a little bit larger in the back there. If you guys don't mind.
Have you lost electric, Paul? Except for
My iPad died. I just had to charge it. So
Okay.
He's outside.
Paul, you can blur your background. That's a little
Oh, that's-
technical, so if, like say it's not this case, but you can blur your background. I'm just
No, that's
making
no
it
fun.
technical.
yeah, just hopefully
There's a
no.
little thing where you can put like roses behind you or something.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll work on that for the future.
Yeah.
Any rate, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye, opposed nay. Paul?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Thank you very much.
Thank
That
you.
is our meeting.
Okay.